Hey guys, today I just wanted to talk about which states I think are most important for Vice President Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election. Basically I'm just going to start filling in Joe Biden's safe states. And so for this categorization, the darker the blue, the more safe I think it is for Joe. I mean, not the more safe, but the less time I think Joe Biden should spend in these states. So basically here, with these blue states, these are the safe Democratic states. I really don't think he should spend, any time or money in these states. These will almost definitely go to Joe Biden by, 10 to 20% margins at least, some even 30% margins for the former vice president. So I think these states, they're not really worth talking about. These are definitely going to go to Joe Biden. And next for this map, I'm just going to fill in the safe Republican states. I think these states are states that he should not, really focus any time into. He's not going to win these states, and he's not going to win Louisiana, Mississippi. He might get closer than what Hillary Clinton had in 2016. However, there really is no chance of him actually carrying some of these solid Republican states. So now, for the lighter blue, basically these are states that I think he should focus a little bit of time on. However, I do not think that these are his most important states. These being Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Virginia, New Hampshire, as well as Maine at large, and Maine's first district vote. So basically, if you look at this, this is basically the margin that Hillary Clinton had in 2016. She won 232 electoral votes. I think Joe Biden should focus on the states that she won by the smallest margins, which should be these states here. I think that these states, Joe Biden is almost definitely going to carry. However, I think he should just spend a little more time in these states just in case, because polling data can be wrong. Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Virginia, New Hampshire, and Maine, some states that Joe Biden should focus a little bit of time on. Next, basically, I have some states that they uh, they can go to Joe Biden, but they are still more likely to go to Donald Trump. I think he should focus a little bit more time in these states because if he were to win these states, it would really make his reelection a lot easier. These are the states of North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Ohio. So these four states, they all went to Donald Trump in 2016. I mean, the rest of these states, they all went to Donald Trump in 2016. But I think that these four areas here, I think they are likely to go to Joe Biden this time around. They are all polling in favor of the former vice president. Ohio by around 0.5%, North Carolina by 3%, Georgia by around 1 to 2%, and then Arizona by around 3%. So these states, they are all polling in favor of Joe Biden. So I think he should spend a little more time in these states. Of course, if he were to win these four states, he would win the election. He wouldn't even have to win Arizona. He would already be at 281. So if he were to win these three states, he would definitely win the election. But I think there are, some more, some better pathways. I mean, easier pathways for Joe Biden to win the election. However, this is definitely a reasonable pathway for the former vice president. Next, I'm actually going to categorize the second district of Nebraska as well as the second district of Maine, along with these four states. I think that these two districts, they are all pretty liberal districts historically. However, they did all turn to Donald Trump in 2016. They all did vote for the Republican Party last time around. However, I think that Joe Biden definitely has a good chance of flipping these congressional districts back. So I think he should spend some time in the districts of Nebraska and Maine. So next, the lightest blue. Basically, these are states I think Joe Biden should spend the most time in. These being the three Rust Belt states, of course. As long as he wins these three states back that Donald Trump won by less than 1%, he will win the presidency. So let's take back Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, and Ohio. And if you look at these three states, he's at 280. He will win the election as long as he wins these three states. These are the three states that Hillary Clinton lost. In 2016, they have voted with the Democrats basically in every election in the past 2 decades beforehand. However, Clinton did lose these three states last time around. However, if Joe Biden were to flip these states back into the Democratic column, he will win the election. And that it's pretty likely that he will flip these states. He leads by 6 to 8% in all three of these states. And jobs really have not returned to these three states. Honestly, the Rust Belt it was kind of neglected by Hillary Clinton. So I really think Joe Biden should not make the same mistakes that she did, and spend a lot of time in these three states because honestly, these are the three most important states in my opinion for Joe Biden. Next would be the state of Florida. I think that Florida definitely has a good chance of going to Joe Biden. He leads by around 7%. I mean, not 7%. 5 to 6% in the state of Florida. In the state of Florida, 29 electoral votes. It could substitute. Both. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, basically. He could win Florida in one of these three Rust Belt states, and Florida is looking pretty likely for Joe Biden. Florida typically is very close. However, he leads by almost 5 points in this state, so this is definitely very good for Joe Biden. If he were to win Florida, he would basically have to win, one other state, and he would win the election. So I think he should spend a lot of time and money into Florida, just so that his election pathways increase significantly. Next, basically, the states of Iowa and Texas. I really do not think you should spend too much time in these two states. Iowa, it is, it did go to Barack Obama. However, Iowa has since become more and more conservative. It's becoming more and more conservative. And, Donald Trump won the state by almost 10%. He did lead in the polling at one point a couple of weeks ago, Joe Biden. However, it has gone back into the Trump column. So really, I really do not see Joe Biden flipping the state of Iowa. So I don't think he should spend too much time on a state that he can't win. And besides, it's only 6 electoral votes. I think that these four states here are much more important for Joe Biden than the state of Iowa. And then, of course, Texas. Texas was polling in favor of Joe Biden for a couple of days. Around a week ago. However, now it has gone back into the Trump column. Joe Biden definitely has a chance of winning the state of Texas. I think better than any Democratic candidate in a long time. However, in the state of Texas, I think it will still vote conservative this time around. I really do not think it will flip in 2020. However, in the future, definitely yes. But for now, I will categorize Texas as going to Donald Trump. I really do not think that Joe Biden should spend too much time in the state of Texas. So basically, this puts Joe Biden at 369, and then Trump at 169. Basically, in terms of states, I think Joe Biden can win and spend time in. So, Joe Biden, it is still his election to lose, as they say basically in every video. As long as he spends his time in these four states, I think he will definitely win. Because these four states, if he were to win these, he would definitely win. If Pennsylvania was called for him, that would basically win him the election on election night. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like as well as subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video.